Okay, I wanted to try to show it, but oh well. We'll hop over to the corridor. Actually, I should go back, shouldn't I? But I wanted to show that I do have Mashita with me. Namely, the things I'm curious about is, do I have access to the science room up here? Or what other rooms are there? And I should also mention it's been a few hours since I've had the last quote-unquote jump scare loading screen type deal. So we are vastly overdue. So I'm just going to run over the bulletin boards.
Yoshi.
There's a large bulletin board here. This is where the first notice is posted. There's knife, red marks, a handwritten notice. I suppose that's evidence that's written by a human. I don't know if that's a... That's just weird. I don't know if that's a mistake or mistranslation or something, but... Club activities halted, head home. Taking it easy, huh? I'd rather have them temporarily close the school. No business. No business. No business. So yeah, I was wondering if they were going to pull a fast one, hide a tooth behind us or something, or a soul behind us, I mean. Hooligan gone to Fox Forest. Eat Crimson Devil to see invisible Kokkuri. Again? What's wrong, Light? No, it's nothing. This has got to be the work of that female doll again. She wanted to tell me something. Hooligan has gone to the Fox Forest. Eat Crimson Devil to see the invisible Kokkuri. If the previous pattern holds, this information must have something to do with the spirit. I have no idea what that doll's goal is, but it doesn't hurt to keep that information in mind. So I'm assuming the devil, so to speak, is, the centipede. Shrine front gate, 1 second. So I thought the courtyard was going to take us there, but maybe... I think it says Fox Forest, so... I don't know. A massive statue of the guardian fox stands here. It's dark, which gives the impression that it's been here for quite some time. I see the entrance to the clock tower. The door's locked tight. Looks like we're not getting in right now. If you can't tell, this is really, really annoying me. We arrive at the north end of the school grounds. The shrine gate we see before us must be the entrance to the Fox Forest.
Yoshi.
A traffic cone and barrier are blocking the way. I imagine they're there to prevent people from going in. However, this might have the opposite effect. They're quite attention-grabbing. It's not difficult to bypass the barrier. An old shrine gate. It looks regal despite the dull color. Beyond the gate is a dense, gloomy forest. This place is really suspicious. I feel like a demon or a snake is about to lurch out. The Fox Forest is just up ahead. From the shrine gate, an overgrown path continues deeper into the forest. This should be the path Abe mentioned. The path that connects the Kokkuri Shrine's former location at the school with the shrine in the forest. Mr. Kokkuri uses this path to go back and forth between the two shrines. Are these tiny-ass cones actually intended to close the road? What a joke. The path ahead is unknown territory. Stay sharp, Mashita. Yeah, you better not let your guard down either. We delve deeper into the pitch-black forest. As we press forward, the light from the flashlight illuminates more and more trees crowding in around us. But I'm so riled up that the shadowy forms look like a horde of monsters to me. Who knows, maybe a real monster is poised to strike just beyond the imagined monsters I'm seeing. Once my mind starts down that train of thought, my skin starts to crawl. I'm getting in my own head and starting to making myself paranoid. You gotta be kidding me. So, though there were ample opportunities there for scares, and they just bypassed them, probably because they ran out of money. Before long, we arrived at an old path leading to the shrine. Although it's only a few minutes from the gate, I feel like we've entered another world. Find a spirit in a forest at night, huh? Reminds me of the mess we were in 4 months ago. That's the beekeeper ghost. Yeah, we were with Sho and Christy back then. Christy Arimura is one of the mark bearers and a former newscaster. If the news that arrived at Kusha Mansion a few days ago is true, she's currently overseas covering a story. Speaking of Nagashima, didn't he ignore your warning and try getting himself involved in this case? I'd shoot his ass out. He should stay out of your hair for a while. Okay. And here I thought Sho withdrew from the case on his own accord. I don't know what exactly Mashita told him, and I don't want to ask. Best just leave that stone unturned. Don't know how long that brat be able to endure it. It's time for the adults to put an end to this thing. Is that Kakuta? Hey, Kakuta. Why are you here? This is the end. What end? I didn't do him a favor. I shouldn't have gotten involved. Fox to... He's mumbling something to himself. His voice is hoarse as if his words are caught in the back of his throat. What in the hell happened, Kakuta? Mr. Light, I don't wanna die. His face bulges from within, red lines webbing across his skin as it's pulled apart. His expression contorts in agony as he screams. Mushrooms sprout from within his wounds, rooted somewhere inside his head. More and more mushrooms split his skin to pieces. What is happening to Kakuta's body? It hurts! It hurts! It hurts! Clutching his face, Kakuta runs away while screaming. His figure disappears into the woods. Could that be Mr. Kokkuri's curse? I'm immediately reminded of the rumors of the delinquent boy whose ear turned into mushrooms. What's happening to Kakuta is even more horrific than the rumors. For fuck's sake, how? How'd that brat get cursed? I think we know the answer to that. He's cursed because he's hooligan. What the fuck did he do? I don't know, but Kakuta seems to have an idea why he got cursed. If we do whatever he did, we'll be cursed too. We don't know what action provokes Mr. Kokkuri's ire, which means we need to be extremely careful in this forest. A cluster of mushrooms is growing on a tree trunk. I hear something. It sounds like a human groaning. Is there something in the darkness? I wave my flashlight to the direction of the groan. The nearby trees are illuminated by the light, but it's still too dark to see anything else. I stare into the darkness, trying to get a better look. That's it. What was that? Those eyes. Those eyes are looking at us. Poke him in the eye, that'll teach him. Is this spiritual phenomenon tied to Kokkuri, or did the other spirits in the forest do it? I don't really know. At that moment, I feel something strange at the bottom of my foot. It feels like I'm stepping on something small and hard. I raise my foot and pick up the item. It's an eerie tooth. So yeah, I'm a little concerned they're kinda phoning stuff in here. There's an old stone lantern. There's an animal carved atop the lantern. It looks like a mouse to me. Do these animals mean anything? I'm getting curious now. I better look it up. Stone is quite weathered, so these things are quite old. Its surface is mostly covered in moss and mushrooms. Yeah, I don't... It's too early to use it, I guess. There's an old stone lantern. There's an animal carved atop. It looks like a cow to me. It's quite weathered, so these things are quite old. The surface is mostly covered in moss and mushrooms. So, I believe the mouse won the race. I don't remember if it rode a bull. But I'm talking about the Chinese zodiac, if you're not familiar. There's an old stone lantern. It's a tiger. Quite weathered, so it's quite old. Moss and mushrooms. Rabbit. So is the next one dragon? So they might be in order. Because I believe it goes tiger, rabbit, dragon. Monkey and rat are down the line. Snake. Because I believe monkey and rat are the other 2 years where the presidential election can fall, other than dragon. Horse. Sheep. Monkey. Rooster. Dog. So their cat did not take part. It came in too late. What is that? A stooped figure is blocking our path. It's a man with mushrooms sprouting from his body. Or rather, it's more like a man who's become mushrooms. He bellows a maddening roar, and I feel a thick haze constricting my consciousness. That's it. Before I can react, I'm back on the path. Did the spirit do this? Fuck my head. Feels like someone took a jackhammer to my skull. What are we gonna do, Light? As long as that mushroomy bastard's there, we can't go forward. We need to do something. How far back do we get thrown? Tiger. So this is number 4. On the off chance something here has changed, we'll run this way. Behind the stones there seems to be animal tracks leading further into the woods, diverging from the path. Pushing my way through the dense foliage, we walk further into the woods. Wonder how far this trail goes. What if we can't find our way back home? There's an open area in front of us. Something's there. I find a different path. I guess this is the back road? There's a large rock at the end of the path. What on earth is that supposed to be? A huge stone is blocking the path. A thick shrine rope is wrapped around the stone. It looks like a serpent. Wonder what that means. Should I investigate it more closely? Rope looks like it's protecting this huge rock. Must be something behind it. Should I try touching the rope? I take a step closer and touch the rope. Suddenly a sharp chill runs down my spine. Is that supposed to be a warning or something? I'd better stop then. Severe chills besiege my entire body once again. I knew it. This isn't just an ordinary stone. I'd better stop. Something rolls down from the gap between the rope and the stone. Is it because I shook it? I pick it up. It's an eerie tooth. So the trick here is you have to check it twice. Otherwise you miss out. Okay, so there's still like 5 of these out there somewhere. So we're just going to check these one by one, hopefully finding the alternate routes. Good news though is we have the serpent path marker, so we know where we have and haven't looked yet. Aw, man, there's no shepherd path or anything. Behind the stones, there seems to be animal tracks leading further in. We follow the animal tracks surrounded by overgrown flora once again. I wonder what's waiting for me in this deep, dark forest. There's an open area in front of us, something's there, that's kind of a repeat. We arrive at a small meadow. There are some random things scattered on the ground here. Everything is old and unusable, you may as well call it junk. Perhaps this place used to be a garbage dump.
Yoshi.
An abandoned decaying drum. Its frame has gotten rusty after being exposed to the elements. Why is this in the forest, though? Better take a closer look. The rim of the drum is stained pitch black. It's too dark to see anything inside. Should I take a closer look? I get up next to the drum and peek inside. The inside is also pitch black. My guess is that they use this to burn things. I assume they were burning garbage, given the surroundings. Why'd they do it here, though? So, this is your chance to... There's something at the bottom of the drum. Not enough light for me to make out what it is with my naked eye. Should I shine my flashlight on it? Of course you should. That was heavily telegraphed, dude. I'm impressed that they actually finally did something. Whoa. What's wrong? Why'd you start screaming out of the blue? In the drum, there's a hand with mushrooms. What'd you say? Moshit appears into the drum. Can't see shit. Turn the light here. Okay. I turn my flashlight toward the inside of the drum while Mashita looks in. However, we only find a thick pile of dark gray ashes. There are several mushrooms as well, the same ones as on nearby trees. Anyone can tell this drum hasn't been used for a long time. There's something in the ashes. It's an eerie tooth. So yay, we finally got one scare. Was it all just a spiritual phenomenon? Whose hand was it then? Even when I put my flashlight toward the forest so I can see ahead as darkness, I feel something terrifying might pop out at any moment, still I can't help but stare into the void. Something seems to be moving at the back. We both stare into the darkness. A fox, I assume? Was that an animal sound? Sounded human to me, though. What was that voice? We better not stay here any longer.
Yoshi.
There's an old signboard on top of a broken trailer. It's a wooden signboard. Kind of thing used to serve as a notice board in olden times. These days you don't see them outside of period dramas. There's a brief sentence written in an old-fashioned script. 2 for the monkey, 3 for the tiger, 1 for the snake. 2 monkey, 3 tiger, 1 snake. It's not making any sense to me. You're a teacher, aren't you, Light? Solve this one. Mushed immediately gives up. Looks like I'm gonna have to unravel this puzzle myself. Let's see. Starts out with to the shrine. So maybe it's indicating a ritual one has to perform before visiting the shrine. Monkey, tiger, and snake are obviously referring to the Chinese zodiac signs. So what does beat mean? Clapping your hands is a typical part of a shrine visit, so that seems to fit. So that means we have to clap our hands in a particular manner before going to the shrine. This is probably how people in the past showed their respect to the gods living in the shrine. I jot down the contents of the board just in case. What was it?
Kokkuri.
Monkey. 9th sign. So now we're looking for the tiger.
Yoshi.
Tiger is before rabbit.
Kokkuri.
Three. And what was the note? Three for the tiger, 1 for the snake. And I'll... serpent path, that'll tell us where the snake is.
Yoshi.
Alright, must have changed something. Let's see what it was. Which number are we at? 9. Oh, it's probably the other path, isn't it? Let's go check the stone. Notice we can't touch it anymore. That's already been examined. Can't do the clapping thing anymore, so you know what? Let's just go confront Mushroom Man. The mushroom man lets out a shout of joy before vanishing. 2 beats for the monkey, 3 beats for the tiger, and 1 beat for the snake. Maybe the board's message helped us exorcise the impurity, aka that spirit. Hey, you know, that monster was wearing a Konohara Academy uniform. You think it's Kakuta? Nope, he had blonde hair and wasn't as big as Kakuta. Who the fuck was that bastard, then? Let me think. Maruhashi mentioned some delinquents who disappeared into the forest. Maybe he's one of them. Kokkuri's deep-seated grudge is swirling all around this forest. One slip-up in that figure might be the last thing we ever see. The boar. So, there's the next animal path. Let's go. Wonder what's waiting in the deep dark forest. It's an open area with something there. Several logs have been arranged in this meadow. They kind of resemble a fence. An inordinate number of mushrooms are growing around the logs. This place looks like a mushroom farm to me. Better be careful, Light. This place is practically screaming ambush to me. A stump with mushrooms growing on it. What's that? Something stuck on the other side of the stump. I take a few steps closer and find a metal grip protruding from the ground. I try to pull it out. It was actually a shovel. What's it doing here? The hell is that? The voice just now. Sounded like a male's voice. No, it sounded like a gagging fox. Mashi does not show any reaction. Looks like I'm the only one who heard it. The shovel might have some sordid tale attached to it. Despite the creepiness, the shovel might come in handy. I decide to take it despite my pounding heart's protestations. Logs are assembled like a fence. I can't see what's on the other side of the fence. Let's move in closer and get a better look. Yes. Oh no. We find a corpse wearing a Konohara Academy uniform on the ground. Unsettling whitish mushrooms are growing from the body. Is this another victim of Kokkuri's curse? What are we gonna do? Stay back. I'll inspect the corpse. I cautiously approach the dead body. Where should I start? I reach inside the corpse's pants pockets. Inside I find a smartphone. It's pretty much stock and has no distinct customizations, making it hard for us to guess who owned it. Maybe I can learn something from the phone itself. I press the buttons to no avail. Guess it's been broken. I reach inside the corpse's blazer pockets. I find a piece of paper inside the pocket. It seems to have been torn from something. I position the beam of my flashlight so I can examine the paper's content. Fox lacata. So this is the missing page. A type of fungus that only lives in the fox forest. It's sporocarp. I don't know what that is. Doesn't have a cap or stalk. Takes the shape of a reed. A poisonous mushroom. It contains 10 times the amount of psilocybin, hallucinogenic, as the infamous Cybe argentipes. I don't know how to pronounce the Latin part there. So the argent means silver, and I assume that's the famous magic mushroom they were alluding to. As of this writing, there are currently no laws regulating possession or cultivation of this fungus. However, concerning the negative impact it would have on individuals, especially minors, official regulation and study are needed. Descriptions of a plant are written on it. This must be the missing page from the guide in the storage room. Scarlet strip-shaped mushrooms should be referring to these plants. So these red mushrooms are called Fox lacata. According to the information, they seem to be mushrooms with strong hallucinogenic effects. There's another piece of paper inside the pocket. Unlike the first, this one is written in rough, hurried penmanship. The author of this note was definitely pissed off. Fox lacata and the murder at Lake S. The minor offender in this case seems to have ingested Fox Locketa, and the one who sold the mushrooms to them was Kay. I've seen shifty-looking youngsters roaming around the Fox Forest. Looks like they intended to harvest Fox Locketa. There were also some students from our school, including Kay. I didn't disclose this information to the public out of fear that it would damage the school's reputation. That was a grave mistake. I take responsibility for everything. So, Kakuta's dealing the mushrooms? The murder of a mother and child at Lake S, an incident I heard of before. I don't know if that's the turtle case from NG. I don't remember what that lake is called. My eyes are fixed on the corpse. I can feel gastric juices well up in my throat. The more I stare at it, the more repulsive it looks. This used to be a human being, and now it looks like this. Don't look away. I utter a mild castigation to myself and continue observing the body. While the sprouting mushrooms have torn up the uniform, it isn't that dirty. He must have died recently. A green tie. That indicates he's a second year. Mushrooms are growing all over his large body. That's all there is to inspect. Find anything useful, Light? Yeah, quite a bit. I describe the corpse's features and show Mashita the items I found. I'm guessing that corpse is that brat, huh? Gotta be. He's a well-built second year, and that torn research paper in his pocket's a dead giveaway. If it's not Kakuta, who else would it be? Kakuta had been cursed by Kokkuri. The curse didn't end just because he ran away. He probably lost his stamina here. We might have a better idea why he came here once we check out his belongings. Let's keep that stuff light. Agreed. The document and the phone acquired. I offer a silent prayer for her soul and leave the place. I realize something on our way back. Unlike the other victims, Kakuta's corpse didn't disappear. I wonder why. The only possible reason I can come up with is that maybe when he passed, he wasn't human any longer. Kakuta had basically become mushrooms. Even his parents wouldn't recognize him in that state. I wonder what's a better death, not even leaving a corpse behind, or being completely stripped of all your distinguishing human features. On the ground I see a mask with a rather odd shape. What is that? I better examine it. An ominous mask surrounded by moss. It doesn't resemble a human. Is this perhaps a human whose body is turned into mushrooms? I can't tell by looking. I might be punished for this, but I might be able to confirm it if I dig out some of the mushrooms. I reach out to the mask, poking it. It's harder than I thought. There's no doing this with my hands. I need something with a sharp edge. I take out the shovel and stick it into the mass. Part of the mass crumbles away. I carefully pick it up and look it over. I knew it. It's a mushroom. Its surface is as hard as tree bark. I doubt this used to be human. It just doesn't look like a human to me. There's no trace of clothing either. I could be wrong, of course, but I'm going with that. I don't want to think I may have just mutilated and desecrated a corpse. There's something buried in the place I dug out. I pick it up. It's an eerie tooth.
Yoshi, いけそうだ.
So, are there any other points of interest here? Because I actually don't remember what number we're at. Mushrooms are growing on a lump of moss. There's nothing particularly interesting here, not even red mushrooms that resemble Fox Locketa.
Yoshi.
Umbrella-shaped mushrooms are growing on the tree trunk. I take a good look to find any mushrooms resembling Fox Locketa to no avail.
Oi.
Kakuta's case is finished. Now we gotta focus on Kokkuri or we'll end up dead like him. We find ourselves in an open space after passing the gate. This should be the grounds of the shrine. However, there are no remains of any buildings to be seen. Have they completely decayed? An old stone lantern with mushrooms scattered here and there. At that moment, I spot something glinting on top of the lantern. I step closer and find a small object on it. Good catch, you'd make a good detective, Light. It's an eerie tooth. I don't know if that's number 6 or number 7. An old lantern, the only trace left of the shrine. Thick bushes and shrubs crowd this area. Hey, Light, do you see that red thing behind those bushes? I strain my eyes staring at the bushes, but it's too dark for me to see anything. Can't see it? You need new glasses. Come here. Mashita walks towards the bushes as I follow him from behind. With my bright flashlight in hand, we cross a spacious open area. If Kokkuri was actually in here, we'd be perfect targets. Just thinking about that sends chills down my spine. Look, there it is. There's a red figure lying in the inner area. Hang on a second. Those are clumps of red plants that are in the shape of a human. Still, this doesn't explain anything about the shrine. We better take a closer look. The mushrooms growing here are thin red filaments. They look similar to the red mushrooms inside the petri dish. This has got to be Fox Lockita. I don't get it. Why have they clustered in such a strange shape? Yeah, if there's something there, I don't know.
Yoshi.
My gut's telling me something's buried here. It's enough motivation to start thrusting the shovel into the earth. I didn't realize I still had the shovel. I thought it was used up after the other thing, but makes sense. My shovel hits something hard. Being careful not to break whatever it is, I try and excavate the dirt around it. Before long, the object becomes visible. They're old human bones. The bones are clad with tattered clothes. Dirt has worked its way through the fiber now, but I believe this used to be white. Who the hell's this poor sod? I don't know, but the white clothes made me think it could be Mr. Kokkuri from the rumors. Abe said Kokkuri is the spirit of a priest, so this guy here's that priest? We may find out more once we get a better look at the skeleton. I crouch next to the corpse and inspect it. From the bone structure, it appears these bones belong to a man. However, they don't really have any special identifying feature that would help us, like a missing finger or something. At this time of night, we'd be hard-pressed to cross-check his teeth against dental records, too. Making matters worse, other than the shred of formerly white clothing, there are no belongings to be found. The fact that his body is buried here might indicate that he was murdered. If so, then his belongings might have been stolen at that time. Who are you? Words full of anxiety and confusion tumble from my mouth. Deep inside the old school, the dead fox god that looks alive Inside the stomach. What was that? A man's voice suddenly echoes through my mind as if he's trying to answer my question. But I believe these are murmurs of his deep resentment. If you listen too carefully, you may get overwhelmed by the regrets of the deceased. We can't stay here any longer. It's dangerous. Let's go, Mashita. I don't think we'll get any useful information here. Nothing, really? Shit. Suddenly, the sound of a gunshot rings out and reverberates through the shrine grounds. That's... It's got something resembling a hunting rifle in its hands. Is that Mr. Kokkuri? Kill hooligan. Mr. Kokkuri disappeared. Another gunshot rings out and the bullet hits the ground near our feet, spraying us with dirt. This is bad. That thing does real damage and he's trying to shoot us with it. Light, don't go out there like that. You're wide open. After saying that, Mashita hides behind a nearby tree. I do the same and hunker down behind a different tree. The bullet hits somewhere completely off target. The bullet hits a spot near the lantern. This guy's obviously an amateur. I think he's using a hunting rifle, but you can see the grouping of his shots is very loose. Either that gun's old and hasn't been cleaned, or he's just a poor marksman who keeps missing the target. I think as long as we keep a good distance from him, the bullets won't hit us. True, but we shouldn't be careless. He only needs one lucky shot to kill us. What should we do then? I can't see him anywhere. We can't just sit here and wait for him. We'll be dead meat once he gets close enough. Everything is certainly trending very badly for us. Even if we try to make a mad dash for it, the road ahead is straight and narrow. Even a bad shooter with a bad gun is going to be able to hit their target eventually in this kind of situation. What should we do then? We really can't make a move as long as we don't know where Kokkuri is. Hold on, we can't see him right now. I feel like I remember something, but I'm not too sure. I keep calm and think there must be clues somewhere. I open the petri dish and decide to eat some of the mushrooms that grow on the centipede. Can't bring myself to eat it. Nope. Mashita, try eating this. I cut off a piece of the mushroom inside the dish and throw it to Mashita, who's hiding behind a tree. Mashita catches it. You bastard, you really want me to eat this? Yeah, trust me. Frowning, Mashita pops the mushroom in their mouth and swallows it. Mashita looks at me with a strange expression afterward. What the hell was that for? Nothing's happening. Okay, sorry. Maybe I should be the one eating it, not Mashita. Sharing is caring, man. Luckily there isn't like a ridiculous hit point penalty that goes with this. But we made the right call the first time around and the RNG did what RNG does. I bite one of the mushrooms sticking out of the insect's body and tear it off with force. Then, with steely determination, I swallow it down. Oh, there's the hit. I feel my body gain warm like I just drank a mug of hot water. My heart is beating so fast my vision starts to blur. This is probably the effect of Fox Lockita. Hey, you alright, Light? Yeah, I think so. Once my heartbeat returns to normal, I slowly stabilize. My vision stops going blurry and I'm no longer in a daze. Then a mysterious figure appears before my eyes. He's there. I can see Kokkuri. Kokkuri hasn't moved an inch. Rest assured, he hasn't come any closer. Wait, what? You can see Kokkuri? Yeah, thanks to the Red Demon. Eat Crimson Devil to see the invisible Kokkuri. The female doll mentioned it before. Calling us hooligans, Kokkuri aims his gun in our direction. The bullet hits the tree we're hiding behind. His accuracy's improved, we're pinned down now. One thing's for certain, we can't escape right now. We need to find some way to fight back. Since Mashita can't see Kokkuri, the only one who can find him is me. There's not much I can do to fight back, but I've got to give it my all. Out of curiosity, where are all the talismans?
Yoshi.
I open the suspicious paper bag and take out the gun inside. You're gonna use that light? Remember, deep breaths, aim steady, take the shot. Sorry, but I have to leave it to you. I can't see the bastard. I'll give it a try. Got no idea this is even going to work against Kokkuri. Honestly, I'm just hoping my attack will surprise him enough that he flees. Not expecting much, I poke my head out of cover and ready the gun. Taking aim at Kokkuri, I pull the trigger immediately. Kokkuri also shoots his gun at the same time, and his shot grazes my leg. This is awful. My bullet doesn't hit Kokkuri. I want to take my time and aim before firing my shot, but that'll only leave me defenseless for a long time. Is there a better way to do this? Mashita, can you do something to distract Kokkuri for a couple seconds? I figured you were going to ask something like that, and I'll do something about it. Believing in Mashita's tactics, I poke my head out and ready my gun. Mashita leaves his cover and shoots into the open space. Kokkuri turns towards Mashita. Great job, Mashita. I take aim at Kokkuri, who has now stopped moving, breathe deeply and calmly pull the trigger. Kokkuri lets out an eerie howl. Did you get him, Light? I think I hit him. Although I guess it's more like my bullet just passed through his body. Well, he is a spirit after all. If you could defeat him with guns, no one would call me to investigate. They'd just get the military. Kokkuri screams in anger and fires his gun. He then begins to approach us slowly. Shit, he's coming closer. We just pissed him off. I want to believe this is the right choice. Kokkuri's breathing hard and he seems angry. The closer he gets to us, the more in danger we are. It also makes it easier to shoot him now. Will that really help us? What are we going to do? We're running out of time. I know that already. If we knew how to deal with Kokkuri's shots, we might be able to find an opening and escape. Our bullets don't work against Kokkuri, but we need to create an opening to survive. Sorry, but can you be my decoy once more, Mashita? Fine. Trusting in Mashita, I peek my head out of cover and ready my gun. Mashita does the same and fires a shot into the open space. Typo? Kokkuri turns towards Mashita. Great job, Mashita. I take aim at Kokkuri, who has now stopped moving, breathe deeply and calmly pull the trigger. Kokkuri lets out an eerie howl. That definitely hit. Saw it for a split second, his shot hit his rifle. Kokkuri sounds frustrated and angry. Something must have happened to his rifle. Did our attack jam his rifle? It's now or never. Kokkuri can't shoot us. Let's go, Mashita. I know, no need to tell me. Once we reach the path, we beat feet and don't slow down. Right choice. Mashita and I race out of there as fast as we can. We're running straight for the exit. Is there still an exit? There's no guarantee that Mr. Kokkuri will let us go even if we escape the forest. Like Slitmouth Kashima, he can probably follow us now that he's set his sights on us. We'll have to be careful everywhere going forward. Even so, our only choice right now is to run for our lives, even if hell is going to be hot on our heels wherever we go. Our only goal is survival, and I'm sure that Mashita feels the same. It's the exit light. Is he still chasing us? He is not. Looks like we survived the hunt for now. For fuck's sake, we barely escaped that bastard. We better stay out of this goddamn forest for now, unless we feel like being target practice. Mashita looks exhausted, and I'm sure I do as well. Let's take this opportunity to head to the infirmary and sort out everything we just learned. See, I'm good to hop over to the infirmary. A sigh of relief escapes my lips the moment we step inside the infirmary. Lucky that I'm seeing these walls again, and that's not an exaggeration in the slightest. Time to tell Yasuoka and the others what happened in the forest. But before we do that, I want to know how many are left. 2. Going for this one because some of those odds sucked. Welcome back. Glad to see you're both safe. Yasuoka and Hiro are the only people inside the infirmary. Where's Maruhashi? She went to the restroom. Alone? She's aware of the dangers that shrine poses now, and she's not headed into the forest. She should be fine. Kokkuri's not the only threat here, though. The Departed is roaming around the school as well. Although the Departed only kills their target after issuing a notice, so Maruhashi should be fine. Good thing she's not here, then. I'll give you a quick summary of what happened before she returns. There are things I don't want her to hear. I filled them in on what happened in the forest. I see, so Kakuda's... It's painful to note that a young life has been lost like that. But does that mean Kakuda was hooligan? More or less. Kakuda stole a document about Fox Lakita, so he must have known something about it. Though I find it hard to imagine he was acting on his own. Fox Lakita is a strong hallucinogen, so it wouldn't surprise me if other people were doing something with it. A strong hallucinogen, eh? I'd like to study it at the Institute. It may be a new kind of alkaloid, very intriguing. Can you give me some of this Fox Lakita research once we wrap up this investigation? Cut the crap, Hiro. This thing needs to be in the hands of the government. I'm gonna submit this shit to my friend at the DEA, and I'm not having it any other way, got it? That doesn't make sense because we're in Japan. Japan doesn't have the DEA. That's most likely something lost in translation. Jeez, you're no fun. I'm back. Oh, you're here already. Hey, you better fill me in too. Don't leave me out of everything. Fine. Leaving out the bits about Kakuda's death, I tell her about what happened in the forest. I concoct a story and say that I found the paper and phone lying on the ground. So Kakuda was in the forest. Why was he there, though? Dunno, I think he got a call. Maybe his phone can tell us something. Unfortunately, it's broken. I tried pressing the button, but... Let me take a look. I assume it's dead. Maruhashi starts touching the phone screen like it's her own phone. It's not broken, the battery's just dead. Anyone with a phone should have been able to realize this. Jeez, how bad with tech stuff are you, Grandpa? Sorry, you got me there. I have a charger that'll work with his phone at home. Maybe we should try and charge it, and then we can see if and then see if we can get something out of it. My home's not far from here. This phone's going to be pretty useless to us with a dead battery. Let's take her up on her offer. So we're lending the phone out. Alright, I'll be right back. Maruhashi quickly exits the infirmary. What should we do now? Should we wait until that kid calls us? I object to that course of action. We should resume the investigation. It's for your sake as well, Light. What do you mean by that, Yasuoka? I can tell. You're being targeted by a spirit. Excuse me? Sooner or later, that spirit will find its way to you. If that happens while you're unprepared, you'll meet the same fate as Kakuta. For fuck's sake, why is everything so... As a renowned fortune-teller and spiritualist, Yasuoka's words carry a lot of weight. I thought maybe the clock had stopped with Kakuta's death and we'd have a little more time before there was another target. But it turns out the clock is still ticking and it's counting down for me. But what should we do now? We still don't know who exactly Kokkuri is, right? That's something we can research. I have an idea. Remember the case from Kakuta's document? Let's look into that murder of a mother and child at Lake S. That's been stuck in my head. How are we going to investigate that? Have Nakamatsu look it up on the internet for us. He should at least be able to pull up a general summary from somewhere. And by that I mean you go call him up. Wait, why do I have to do it? You know how to use a phone, just call him yourself. I don't really like talking to him. We're not really on the same wavelength. So that's your issue? I guess you can't expect a nice otaku and a hard-boiled ex-detective to get along. Looks like I'm gonna have to be the one to call Eita. Hello, Light. What do you want me to look up? Can you look for any information you can find about a murder of a mother and child at Lake S? It may be connected to our investigation. A mother and child being murdered? That sounds awful. I'll try searching. Found something. 10 years ago, a mother and child were beaten to death by a group of delinquents. I'll share the details now. It's pretty long, so you should probably start taking notes. I whip out a pen to write down everything Ada says about the murder. 10 years ago, at Lake S in S City, a family who went camping was attacked by a group of young men. Mother Izumi Kiyohara and her daughter Kozue Kiyohara were beaten to death. The father, Masaki Kiyohara, was gravely injured but survived. He was hospitalized for 3 months. Masaki Kiyohara was a teacher at a school in H City, not far from S City. He continued to work there after the incident, but later disappeared. The crime was committed by 8 juveniles, all between the ages of 16 and 19. At the time of the crime, they were under the influence of mind-altering substances. Due to their ages, names of the perpetrators were not disclosed. The narcotic they were taking at the time was believed to have been some new type of psychedelic mushroom. Of the 8 juveniles who were arrested, K, who was allegedly the drug dealer, was released due to the insufficient evidence. That's horrible. Those violent punks are scarier than spirits. Eita might have a point there. Spirits who curse humans are pretty frightening, but humans are responsible for creating spirits in the first place. The malicious actions of people cause grudges, and grudges create spirits. It's a chain of hatred, one that begins with humans. By the way, Light, I need to get going soon. You can leave the mansion if you want. Thanks for your help today, Eita. No problem at all. Talk to you soon, Light. How'd it go, Light? Eita had a lot to share. I shared the details of the murder with the other 3. I see, no wonder it was sticking in my head. Did you work on that case, Mashita? Come on, man, use your brain just a little bit. That case is 10 years old. I wasn't on the force yet. But now I recall my mentor was the one who told me about it. Nakamatsu pretty much covered the whole thing, though, so I don't have any additional info to add. Do you think the mushrooms in that case are Fox Locketa? This case is just full of mushrooms, eh? Can't argue with that. A curse involving mushrooms growing from your body, Kakuta being turned into mushrooms, the Fox Locketa on the dead centipede in the petri dish. And now we've learned about the tragedy caused by Fox Locketa 10 years ago. Everything's connected to mushrooms. Boy K, the one who wasn't prosecuted, could it have been Kakuta? God damn it, I just told you this case is 10 years old. There's no way Kakuta was involved back then. Well, it's pretty unlikely for him to have been directly involved, but he knew about Fox Locketa. He reacted to the petri dish and even hid the documents. Everything would tie itself up nicely if he turned out to be a mushroom dealer. I imagine we don't have enough information yet, however. The key to discovering Mr. Kokkuri's identity is likely the link between the past and present cases. Or so I believe. Guess that's all we're going to get out of this deduction session. What we need now is some solid evidence. Let's continue the investigation, Light. We don't know where to start, though. We probably won't find anything in the forest or the shrine in the corridor. I have a place in mind. For real? I got some information in the forest that'll lead us to our next spot. The voice I heard when inspecting the bones. Deep inside the old school, the dead fox god that looks alive inside the stomach. That voice told me to go investigate somewhere. Maybe heading to the location they mentioned will help us identify that corpse. And if we can learn about the person who became Mr. Kokkuri, we can start devising a plan of attack. Which sounds great, except we're running low on time. Should we really just trust something that I heard from a mysterious voice when so much is at stake? Having trouble making a decision? When you're running out of time and you need to make a tough choice, just trust your instinct and hope for the best. You know what's most important when dealing with spirits? Courage and conviction. Thanks for the reminder. I'll go with my gut and act on the information the voice gave me. Let's search for the dead fox god that looks alive in the depths of the old school.